What would your advice be to other young people, say like 20 to 30 in the Western world, who are thinking about doing something crazy like moving to Romania, but don't know where to start, or maybe thinking it's just a dream?
Figure out what you want. That might be easier said than done. And also, if that's too hard or part of the equation, figure out what you can lose and what you're willing to lose. I bought a Caravan for £3,000. Is that really the kind of money that is life-changing? Not for me. I'm trying this out, and I think I like what I'm seeing, and I think I'm sold on the idea of building this community and then building automated farming eventually, and engineering solutions, because it's really, my language is really cool.
Hello, welcome back to Random Romania. I'm here with Jerome. You will recognise him from an earlier video.
I'm Jerome.
He's come back to Romania, and that's what we're going to talk about. You've officially joined our community, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So now it's two of us, and we're just going to do a quick interview to go through a bunch of reasons why you finally decided to come back here.
That's the plan.
Because we were talking a lot. So I will start with the rather obvious question of why did you come back to Romania?
Why did I come back to Romania? So, if you watched the previous interview you did with me, I mentioned that I was traveling through Eastern Europe and a couple of Central European countries. I wanted to check them out, kind of catch the vibe, because this is my first time, or that was my first time coming to Eastern Europe. I've only been in Western Europe, as I'm Dutch and most people go there. So I did just that. I went to Slovenia, I went to Croatia, what else? Czechia, Hungary, Bulgaria. I stayed mostly in these countries. And then I asked myself the question, what do I value really? I probably should have asked that question earlier, but I went in and I found that Romania is, where you are setting things up, is where you're starting this community. And I think it's just as good a country as any, really. I am not that particular, I would say, about the culture of countries. I think pretty much every country I've been to so far, especially in Eastern Europe, has they're very nice people. And I can't speak any language of them, so that doesn't really matter anyways.
Can you go into some of the things you're looking for and some of the experience? I mean, okay, let's just say all the countries had their interesting things. Could have gone to any of them. Yeah. So what was it got you back here? What was it particularly interested you about coming back to here? And also back to my place and getting
mainly your place, to be honest. No, not to flatter you, but
that wasn't
no, it wasn't scripted for sure.
That wasn't scripted at all. He actually said that.
No, yeah, I mean, like what I was searching for, I want to build a community. I want to be part of some kind of community that is trying to live pretty self-sufficiently. I want to be able to have my own food source that either I or someone from the community or together probably are producing. I want to know where my food comes from, and I want a lifestyle that is I like living in the countryside. It's pretty basic reason, really.
Can you expand a bit on what you mean by growing your own food and why that's become important to you? I mean, I know it's important to a lot of people, but I think people want to. It's interesting when people hear this from other people having the same ideas.
So, as some of you might know, I think the food supply that you have in Western Europe, but pretty much all over the entire world, but I have access to the Netherlands, where I would live, it's pretty good, obviously. But there's a lot of stuff that could be better, such as the pesticides that are being used. I completely understand the use of pesticides, but if I have to choose between no or pesticides, then I would choose none, rather. That's one part. Furthermore, there's also reports of microplastics being in our food supply. So I would rather have no microplastics in our food supply, and I think it's worth it to look after my own food and get the transparency that I get from this by simply trying to produce it myself. So those really are the basic reasons.
Okay, and I think I'd you probably say the same thing about just processed foods as well, processed foods in general.
There's all kinds of stuff in it that you don't really want.
You don't know the entire supply chain.
You don't want it at all, actually. Yeah. Yes.
No, because like if you have a chicken like wandering around your garden here and you see it the whole time and then you eat it, you know where it's been, kind of thing. So,
yes, you know, you saw it walking around.
I think a lot of people get that. Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit about your journey out here, how you got here, what was involved, any problems you had.
Luckily, not really any problem. No, I went here by car and caravan. So I basically brought my entire household with me, which wasn't that much.
Did you get stopped by customs anywhere or the border things, or did they ask you anything?
Well, I did get stopped.
Tell me about this, because this is going to be interesting.
They didn't check me though. So
they didn't check anything in the caravan?
No, they just stopped me. Because I'll just tell you, I drive a Dacia, right? Romanian car, pretty cheap one. Yeah. And I have a Caravan with me, which is like 30 years old. It's it's not a piece of shit, but it's pretty old. You know, It works. So they see this guy, Dutch license plates, only me, no one else in the car. Like, hold up, what's this guy hauling? I think that's what went. That's probably what went through their mind. So they checked it. I mean, it's full of just household stuff. So they didn't bother.
Did you have any specific interaction with them at all?
Oh, like I said, they stopped me. Like, you go off to the side. Okay, sir.
They didn't say where you're going or anything like that?
Yeah, where you go? I'm going to Romania. I'm like, what? Why? Like, I'm moving there. Oh, you can go. Yeah. That's pretty much how it went each and every time. So,
and you came in a Dacia, which I thought was funny because you're from Holland. How that's an interesting thing for Romanians. How did you come to buy a Dacia in Holland?
Because it's cheap.
It's just because it's a good value for money.
It's an okay value for money. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's actually a pretty popular brand, I would say, in not even the Netherlands only, but pretty much the entirety of Western Europe.
Yes.
Because it's reliable. It's kind of what Fiat was, I guess, 20 years ago. Yes. So people buy it because it does what it does. It brings you from A to B. So.
Okay. And how long have you been here now? A week? About a week, yeah?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts so far?
It's beautiful. It's countryside. You can see. Looks good. There's trees, there's grass, there's greenery. It's not a city. It's not concrete everywhere. So yeah, what can I say? I like it. Mm-hmm. I haven't had much interaction yet with a lot of Romanians so far in this 1 week, because we've mostly been setting up. Mm-hmm. Me living here, and we'll probably see more in the coming weeks, coming months.
What would you say to other young? Because I'm sure you're unusually young to be interested in what I'm doing. It's very cool that you're the first serious person to actually make a commitment, because all the people we're talking to about this community, they're all at different stages. Some of them have very complex situations. Mm-hmm. Once they start talking about it in earnest, they start to realise it's a little harder than they thought. That they have all these problems, but at the end of the day, I see a lot of people who've got plenty of money, but they just
not me.
But they just don't want to take action. They're just going to keep on thinking until something forces them. Probably. So it's kind of nice to see someone young just going for it. But what would you say to other people who are your age? Because the people who are watching this video who are your age are probably the ones that are maybe thinking about this kind of thing and are more likely to relate to you than the older people.
So,
and what would your advice be to other young people, say like 20 to 30 in the Western world, who are thinking about doing something crazy like moving to Romania, but don't know where to start, or maybe thinking it's just a dream? Talk as much as you like about that. I think that's a great subject.
So figure out what you want. That might be easier said than done. And also, if that's too hard or part of the equation, figure out what you can lose and what you're willing to lose. Because for me, I'm literally I bought a Caravan for €3,000, €3,000. I drove it here, so that's, gas costs. And that's it. And then, obviously I need to build stuff here, and I need to bring some stuff. I need to buy some stuff. But is that really the kind of money that is life-changing? Not for me. So I'm trying this out, and I think I like what I'm seeing. And I think I'm sold on the idea of building this community and building, automated farming eventually, and engineering solutions, because it's really, my language is really cool.
Yes. We might have to edit that out.
Sorry.
We might have to put a beep there.
Yeah,
be funny
really beep and cool. Yeah,
because it'll be funny because we'll put the beep there, and then we'll be talking about the beep, and they won't know the word because we'll have beeped it. Anyway, about the automated farming.
Yeah.
You said something to me interesting that was interesting to me earlier, where you said that wasn't the thing that you were initially interested in.
Yes.
But once we started talking about it, you thought, oh yeah, that's actually a very good point. Elaborate on that.
Okay, so I was already completely sold on off-grid living. I was like, damn, I got to try this. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's really, really, really difficult, and it is. But I have been. I grew up not really on a farm, but in the countryside as well. And my mom is pretty good at just gardening, so I would sometimes help her. Honestly, not that much. I'm pretty much a novice, but it's interesting. And the food we would grow is just amazing. You know, especially potatoes. I love the potatoes. They're always really good. So I was sold on that, and it never really occurred to me that you could automate this. And when I first met you and you were talking about automated farming, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And that's it. I didn't really have any thought of it. And then you explain more because you're really enthusiastic about this topic. And the one thing that kind of convinced me was like, all right, imagine you're sitting outside, or imagine it's 40 degrees Celsius outside and you got to harvest. What do? Well, you got to harvest. But what do you have some robots doing it for you? I was like, you got a point. You got a point over there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a logical way things are going to go in the future. Like all technology, I mean, people think about this. I was thinking about this earlier. People think about farming technology and they imagine mass farm chickens where they go through these factories. The animals are all mistreated and stuff like that. But I don't see why you can't use technology to raise animals in a natural environment.
Yes.
Just because it's, I mean, anybody you talk to, anybody in robotics, for the last 20 or 30 years, people have been talking about the dull, dirty and dangerous jobs that they all want the robots to do.
Yeah.
So that seems like a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of the people that are pro going back to nature and living in the countryside don't like a kind of anti-technology, which I find hilarious considering they're all posting on social media.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
that's silly to me. So I always think all technology, you can use it for good or evil.
Yeah,
it's about the morals behind using it.
The thing is, I kind of found myself in that camp before I met you, I have to admit. Not for any particular reason, I would say. And I have to say that me saying like, 40 degrees, you don't want to harvest. I agree that does sound a little bit lazy.
Yes.
And there is certainly some kind of romantic view that I also hold of, living in the countryside, growing your own food.
Yeah, so if you want to understand the reality of that romantic view,
exactly.
Speak to some of the people that live around here.
Yes,
and have to do that work.
Yes,
some of them work very hard, but any Romanian who lives in the countryside will tell you that the reason, not only that, the reason why these skills are dying is not just because there's all sorts of pressure from all the things that we can't talk about on here, causing these things to be restricted and made difficult, but people just do easier jobs. They want to go to the city because it's more fun. They want to go to the factory job because they've got a regular schedule. They get paid nicely.
If you grew up with picking up walnuts, which people do a lot over here, and you break your back over it, and then you can get an office job. Well,
that's exactly. So that's it.
Well, but not only like the laziness or this factor, but also it just frees up a lot of your time.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't mind spending a few hours a week, maybe even a day in the garden. I think that's perfectly fine, perfectly fun, depending on what you do, of course.
But if you're just farming all the time, it's going to get boring,
It might get boring. It's just a lot of your time. And then I'm questioning myself, is it worth it? Do I need to? And, well, you gave me the answer, no, because you can automate it, right?
Yeah.
You can. So why wouldn't I? Because there's so much stuff I can also do.
Well, I think we can automate it. We have to find some more.
Yeah, we'll have to find it out. It's gonna.
Oh, that's a good point. Anybody who's watching this we're talking about the automated farming. Anybody out there who's interested in what we're doing, who understands programming, electronics, engineering, anybody with one or any of those skills, we'd be very interested in talking to you. We've got some people, really good people that are involved, but they're all over the world, so they can only work remotely. We'd love to get probably one or two people physically here who are interested in the same thing as you. If there's younger people watching, you'd like some younger, normal people to talk to, right? Already.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't live in the city I have studied. I finished my study last year, my bachelor's. So I'm a little bit more used to being relatively more on my own last year. But yes, it would be nice to have some people I can talk to and just do stuff with. That is true. You'll find yourself more on your own when you're in the countryside. So that's part of the deal. But eventually I want to make this a community.
No, right? That's why we want to make a community, because we all feel the same. We just like it would be nice to have a social thing here as well.
Exactly, and the thing is, I have some friends back in the Netherlands, but they're all into different things, and that's fine. And we can figure out the sort of stuff that we can do together. We usually go to the sauna. That's one of the things I usually do with my friends, and I love going to the sauna. But yeah, that's about it. We didn't really have any common things. We gamed a lot together. I grew up. I'm Gen Z. I gamed too much, but right now not so much anymore. So yeah, it's all part of it. Mm.
Cool.
Yeah, something that might be good to discuss is, what are the plans going forward for now? Because you've got me here. Obviously, you want to have more people, engineers, programmers, etc.
Yeah. So the one of the issues we've got right now is figuring out exactly how to do the zoning for the land, because I've done quite a lot of business in Romania and made lots of property deals in the past since I moved here in 2001. And one of the ways I've operated is, whenever I do something, is I get lots of confirmations on how to do it before I do it, because my logic is, when everybody's telling me the same story, that's probably the truth. Yeah. So we've been round and round in circles a lot with the planning. We're getting to the bottom of it now. But ultimately, if we can't zone this area exactly the way we want to, we'll just do it somewhere where we can find locals that we can deal with better. Because and any Romanians watching this, actually, anybody who wants to help with the zoning or understands about making a PUS or urban, the role of the urban architect and this kind of stuff, the problem we have is it should be a relatively straightforward process, and I'm getting different stories from different people. There's lots of things that don't really make sense. The law makes sense. Like if I look the law up myself, I speak to people that I do know and trust that would gladly help me if they weren't too busy on the other side of the country. Those people are telling me what should happen, and I can't make those things happen in that order.
Yes.
And so I'm not happy with it, and like I want to build something really cool here, and if we can't do it here, we'll have to do it somewhere else. Regardless, anyway, we can do all the farming stuff here. That's relatively easy to do.
Yeah.
Temporary buildings and stuff are reasonably buildings for agriculture are reasonably straightforward. Mm-hmm. So it's not a big deal. It's just annoying. We're trying to do something very cool for the area, and it's hard to get to the bottom of it. So that's where we're at with the planning. What was your question about
plans going forward?
Plans going forward. So that's one thing. We want to find more technical people. We want to get more people physically here. Mm-hmm. More of the same, really. Like what we're doing. Once you were here, I showed you all the people I'm talking to on my phones and email and stuff, and you can see the level of interest. It's cool, but there's a lot of people that this is a very scary big step for, and they're thinking like, maybe 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, this kind of thing. It's surprising for me, because a lot of these people have got plenty of money. Yeah. They just don't want to. It's a hard step to take, because it's like a completely new direction in life, and I think they're just scared.
Well, I think that's a good way to end it, and kind of a summary of what I said in the beginning as well, because it doesn't matter for age, I think. I'm just in my 20s guy, so maybe you don't want to listen to me if you're 50 years old or something, but like, what do you have to lose? Obviously, I don't have many connections, because I'm this young, right? So it's not
responsibilities, you mean?
And that as well.
Yeah.
No, but also connections. Okay. I haven't built up anything that major in my many, not many, but like my little years of living.
Social or business network or anything.
Exactly.
Like that.
And if you have that, then I can imagine that's kind of hard to let go. And I'm Dutch. Dutch people, some do have some pretty strong family connections. Most of them don't, and I'm one of them. So I do not have many things that are holding me back. But think about it, and just what's the risk, really? And you can always go back in this sense.
Yeah, you can always go back, and the thing is if it's much better to try and fail.
That's what I'm doing.
To spend your life regretting things you didn't try.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day.
Yes.
none of it really matters all that much in the big scheme of things.
I mean, that's an argument, yeah. No.
Cool. Okay, good. Shall we end it there?
Sure.
All right, thanks very much for watching again. Anyone interested in getting involved in the community or anything we're doing, just please write in the comments below, and we'll tell us what you need, and we'll respond with contact details and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Sorry we're taking a bit of a long time to get the long form videos out. Just kind of busy with this community stuff, so we'll endeavour to get more content up. Thanks again for keeping on supporting our channel, and bye for now.
Cheers, bye.